Hi, Tavius here. Just wanted to take a couple minutes to talk to you about how you will always succeed and never ever fail again. I'm going to give you 3 steps. These 3 steps, you do them, you are going to succeed. I guarantee it 100%. All you got to do is exactly what I'm telling you, and you will never ever see failure again. All right. So, before I get into that, I want you to do one other thing. Pull out your wallet right now, get your credit card out, and set it on the table next to you. So once you've done that, I'm going to go ahead now and tell you these 3 things that are going to get you where you want to be, the success in life you want to see, so you can never ever worry about failing again. So the first thing you need, the number one most important thing out of this whole thing, you need a why. You need to have a reason for what you're doing. Now, some people are going to be out there and they're going to say, well, I want a better car. I want a better house. I want. And it's all about them. You know, if it's all about you, you might as well give up now. You've got to think more than you. There's going to be a number of other reasons, and I'll actually break them down for you. The most common one for families, mothers, for parents is family. You want to see your family having more than you had. You want to be sure that they have everything they need in life, and you want to do what you can to see them happy. Now, sometimes it'll be for your spouse, your loved one, your mate, whatever. Sometimes it's going to be for the kids. Either one of these, it's all about that thing of your family. So that's a big, big motivator. Especially mothers, you're going to see this. You are doing this more often than not for your kids. And as such, you're very, very likely, more than anybody else, to really succeed at this. Because it ain't just about you. All right. Other things that it could be would be for groups, whether it's Cub Scouts or, you know, for the entire of your country, or, you know, just different groups. So that would be another driving force. Another one would be all of humanity and making sure that everybody survives to the best of their ability. Then you could be looking at plants or animals, making sure that penguins are okay and that turtles can get across the street safely. Things like this. Otherwise, you could also have museums, people that are actually interested in preserving physical things about the universe, whether it's having a museum or whether it's preserving monuments that have been built or whatever. The 7th one is a big one for people in yoga, is spiritual energy, the capability of feeling within the essence of another life. I'm not even going to go into the details of it. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying this is one thing that drives people. And the 8th one is God. And again, I'm not going to go into it. It could be any religion. It doesn't matter. It's all about something bigger than you. Any one of these things, between all of these, that's going to encompass anything and everything that would drive a person. It doesn't matter where you're at. Something in there is a driving force. So I'm going to stick with the fact of most people it's about the second, about your family, parents, it's about your kids, you know, or your spouse if you don't have kids, or maybe it's getting kids. It's all there. So you have these drives within you. You need to make sure you focus and you define, clarify it. Put it like right there. You know exactly what you are doing this for. Why are you doing it? Take a moment and actually think about that. Why are you doing this? All right. Now, you've got your reason. Now what? You've still got 2 more steps I'm going to show you here. And by the time you're done, I guarantee you will never, ever fail. What I'm going to do for you right now is I'm going to give you an opportunity to make a difference towards that why. I'll actually tell you first what the actual second step is. Second step is taking an inspired, massive action towards achieving your goal. Doesn't matter what it is, you've got to do something. It may be as simple as turning off the TV and getting up and taking a walk. If that's getting yourself back in shape or something, it doesn't matter. Maybe it's cooking a dinner for your kids. It really doesn't matter. These are all things that are part of your achieving the goals that you want. And that's really your why. You got to take action towards your why. Things that's going to do something in the direction of it. So, that said, if your situation is you want to see something better for your family, you want to see something better for your kids, you need to find an inspired action to make it happen. If you're working a regular 9-to-5 job, you're probably throwing away a lot of time. You don't have the time to spend with your family or, your wife, your husband, whatever. Or maybe it's a situation that maybe you don't have a job. Maybe you're broke. Or maybe you're doing something and you're totally failing at it. I'm sure it's one of those because you're watching this video. And I'm sure you're tired of failing at whatever you're doing. So here's what I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you a tool that you can turn into $1,000 a day if you wanted to. I know people that are doing it. And I'm going to give you the option that you can have in your hands something which is going to change your life. It's $25. And what I want you to do is go ahead and stop the video for a moment. I'll be back, or I'll be here when you get back. But scroll down to the bottom and click on the Register Now button. Just go ahead and do that. Sign up and get going. All right, did you do it? Okay, well, what the next thing is, your number 3 item, and between these 3 steps, if you're doing all of them and you follow my directions 100%, you will never, ever, ever fail again. Number 3, and this is a big one, and if you look at Muhammad Ali, or people that have been bankrupt and got back up and did it again, made their money again, you'll kind of see it. Number 3 is get back up. Do not lay down there on the ground and give up and say, oh, no. That's where you get the people that try things. You may have been this. I've done it myself. I've gone out there and said, well, I'd like to make some big money. And then I go out, put out some effort on it. And you've probably done it too. Gone out, put some effort in it, and decide after a couple of frustrations that it's too hard. It's never going to work. I got something to tell you. I don't care what that was that you were doing, and I don't care what it is you're thinking about. It would have worked if you would have got back up. And maybe the exact tool wasn't the right one, but if you got back up and kept going, you would get where you wanted to go. I guarantee you. So that's what you got to remember, is you got to put yourself forward and say, all right, I fell down. I did an ad and it flopped. I got nothing out of it. Or, I bought a product and it didn't do nothing for me. I went into this particular business and it folded on me. Whatever. It doesn't matter. You got to remember that number 1 thing we talked about, your why. Because if you have that why that says, okay, I want my kids to have a decent life. I want my loved ones to be happy. If you're driven by that and you feel it with such passion, do you really think you're going to be staying there on the ground? I guarantee you, you're going to get back up. If you've got a strong enough why, you will get up and do it every single time. And you'll keep going and keep going fall down, keep going. You know what's going to happen? The universe is eventually going to give up on trying to stop you. People are going to give up on trying to stop you. And it's just suddenly going to happen that overnight, you'll suddenly see everything breaking loose. And all of a sudden, you've got all of the things that you wanted coming to you because you had your why, you took your inspired action, and you kept getting back up. You can do this. I don't care what it is. And, you know, I am giving you what can be the absolute best tool because I have seen people pulling in as much as $100,000 a month doing this. And even if you're just looking at something to replace your job, or maybe you don't have a job and you just want an extra $500, it doesn't matter. You can do this. For $25, it's not that much. I mean, that's not even the cost of a meal for a family. For two people, you can probably get it there. But the point I'm saying here is that you can do this. I'm giving you a tool right now that is very, very cheap, very inexpensive to get you going, can make you an extra $1,000 or a couple $1,000s a month. So go ahead, click the button down below, and get started. And I'll see you on the other side.